So people want to know, how do men benefit from marriage more than women? First and foremost, men benefit more because a lot of times they don't know how to cook. So the women are doing all the cooking. The women are raising the kids. The women work also just like the men. And usually the women are sometimes the only ones working. So we're the breadwinners. So we're providing for him. A roof over his head. The house is in our name, etc., etc. It's built-in sex because typically when you're the wife, it's expected that you do your wifely duties and give your husband sex. And that doesn't even guarantee that he's not going to cheat on you as you're doing your wifely duties. A lot of times women are being abused, controlled. We definitely are being held back a lot from our greatness because we have a husband. A lot of times men are going to hold you back because they're jealous of your success or your talents or whatever. And they're jealous that they're mediocre as fuck. And they feel like they're entitled to be doing better than you, frankly. So if you're doing better than them, then it's like they're going to sabotage you and do things to pull you down. Or they might just let you be great and they go sit on the couch and feel depressed and feel sorry for themselves because they can't do better than you. They get to see their kids every day without really having to raise them. So once you get a divorce, it's like now the men don't see their kids as often, which some of them actually don't mind that. But when they do see them, they have to actually be a parent. So that means they have to actually cook, clean, get them baths, deal with the temper tantrums, etc. They can't be like, oh, just go to your mom, or here, honey, the baby's crying, or whatever. So that's another benefit that men enjoy. And this is just off the top of my head. Women tend to bring like a social aspect to men's lives. Men are kind of very antisocial type creatures. So a lot of times when you're married, you have a social life because you have a wife. So she's bringing that to you. Also, wives also tend to keep their husbands healthy. So they call it nagging. That's what men like to call it. But usually it's a wife who's telling the husband, it's time to get your checkup, honey. It's time to do this, honey. It's time to go to the doctor, get your, prostate checked, or whatever gross thing. Because we would like to see our husbands live a nice old age. Speaking of that, of health. So just recently learned that there's a lot of men who are in old folks' homes because men are good for burning bridges. So they typically run through all the people who cared about them, they just run through them like a bulldozer. And so by the time they get older and they actually like have a stroke or heart attack or some debilitating something, because they don't take care of themselves, they don't like to go to the hospital. So by the time they get they have a stroke or something that's going to make them need more help and care, nobody likes them. They're not likable people, so they have no one around them. So now they're in old folks home at like 40 something years old. That's insane. So when you have a wife, of course, you have a caretaker, a built-in caretaker, someone who's going to make sure that you are taken care of. Like if something happens to you and you're like paralyzed or whatever, you have like your wife now taking care of you, because a very high chance that she took care of herself, so she's healthier than you. And typically women do live longer than men because we take care of our health. That's another added benefit for men. They get that caretaker, companionship. You have someone you get to hang out with who's pretty amazing. Women are very loving and nurturing and not so aggressive and not in such nightmares. So all the women in my family basically are the providers of the family. Most of them are the ones that have the jobs. Some of them are the only ones working. If it wasn't for them, I don't know if the men would have a roof over their head unless they go live with their mom or somebody. Unless they go find another couch to sleep on. How are you couch surfing at like 50 something? And guys just tend to be like needy. They don't like to admit it, but they're lonely. Do you know a man that's ever been single? Like, I say they're single, but they always have somebody in the wings. Like when women are single, we're really single. Guys need sex. Let them tell it. They need sex, so they usually have some female that's hanging around that they can call whenever they want some booty. But like women really just be celibate, even though we can get dick like literally anywhere. We just be like celibate as fuck because we value humanity more than not. But yeah, men definitely benefit more. Yeah, they do. And honestly, like, I can't even think of, like, aside from like perceived value, like I cannot even think of like one thing that women benefit from when they marry men. I really don't. I can't think of anything. Some men get a built-in maid service, like women picking up their drawers and shit like that. Because men are nasty. They like never clean behind themselves. I have all boys, and it's weird. It's like, and they're not the only ones, obviously. I've seen that my whole life. I'm like, God forbid you close the cabinet, or put down the toilet seat, or pick up your underwear off the floor. It just be like simple shit, and they just don't. They feel too entitled to be bothered. Like it's like they just don't care. And they can live in like complete filth. It's disgusting. They're totally okay with that. So, if typical woman, if you like to not live in filth, that usually means you're going to be cleaning up behind people. So yeah, that's my list. Hope this helps. Bye.